kept seeing a car go into the water. All day they've been showing me reruns in my mind of Adventures with Purpose. BP's gonna find her in the Prosser Lake.
We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle. Again, our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10.
There are plenty of questions and very few answers after 4 students at the University of Idaho were found murdered in their off-campus house.
It's like if you look at Ted Bundy's eyes and you look at his eyes, they're the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. The one thing that I keep seeing is curls. So I don't know if he has curly hair or wavy hair, and that might be when it's grown out. I think he elongated, like his face might be a little bit longer. There's a reference to a pointier type nose. He honestly looks a lot like Ted Bundy, but like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Like not as handsome. I keep getting like a security guard or a badge. Like a Brian or something like that. It's because they are going to catch him. Because I'm seeing him in an orange jumpsuit. He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. Okay. And he's probably going to go to jail for this eventually. I keep getting December. The name Richard again. I also get the name Rick. Damn name Allen is coming in again.
Jailed 50-year-old Richard Allen in connection with the double murder. Teen best friends Libby German and Abby Williams went hiking on a trail and never came home.
Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Quentin, but I'm seeing trash and I don't.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I do keep hearing a trash truck though. Then I keep hearing the trash truck. It's almost, that's one thing I can't get rid of is the twisting of the trash bag. And so then I'm like, well, is he in the trash? Okay. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I do hear landfill could be the...
Well, new tonight, a heartbreaking search underway in Georgia for a missing toddler. Police are sifting through trash at a landfill for the remains of 20-month-old Quentin Simon.
And I felt like he was going to be found. That was earlier in the day.
A 3-year-old boy found alive and in good health.
And I said, like, within 3 miles, but I'm not seeing him being hurt, and I'm not seeing someone coming up and getting him.
And I said, were you alone? Yes.
The main 2 things I keep getting is the wooded area and the shed.
Well, to take cover in that shed.
Late into the night to find.
I see him running to the woods. Oh, I keep getting a repeated image of him running to the woods. Okay. So maybe he decided he wanted to go play and then he kind of got lost in the woods. Be within 2 miles. I keep getting a reference to the edge of the woods. And so he's still alive because I'm not using him to get this information.
Right.
Around in the woods like I can't find my way out. I'm stuck. And I said he's in a bush.
Okay. I went across a field of grass. I came up on some woods. Sure enough, I went in the woods and about 100 feet from where I was at. I think he was in some stickers. There's a lot of stickers and all there.
Tonight in our Missing series, a case that we have heard a lot about from our viewers.
He wants to take me down the road to like a neighbor's house or something, like another farm. I also hear neighbor. He said he knows this guy. He knows him. And he's a neighbor. I don't know what the friends come in.
Suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
Welcome. Today we're going to do the Maui Fires. I just kind of had the pull to do it. I don't know how it's going to go because I have only really done the submersible and the airplane, and those are the only two that are kind of like not crime related. Haven't done a lot of conspiracy things. I haven't done a lot of things like this, so I'm not other than my Autowrites, which is a more of just I just give what spirit gives in a foresight, foretelling kind of thing. But I do think that this came in the foresight, foretelling. The fireballs that I was seeing, I don't remember what Autowrite it was in, but you can find my Autowrites. There's a playlist for it. They're called World Events, so you can find them all there. But I think the fireballs belong there. The day that I was doing a reading with Lizzie, who is going to be present tonight, we were doing Rachel's video, and I was getting a fire, and then the next day it happened. The seven came in the Autowrites, and it said it was going to be very important this year, and I cannot tell you how many times 7 has hit either victims, days, whatever. It's been so many that I cannot keep track right now, but this actually happened on August 7th. So I find it kind of interesting as far as the way that Spirit's kind of pulling me to work on this, and I kind of fought it to work on it. I didn't really want to because it's just not my cup of tea. But tonight, I don't know, I just felt the pull really strong, and I told, even though I have to get up in a few hours, I was like, Lizzie, can we just go and do this? Because now I want to see if there's anything more to this than this just being natural disasters or whatnot. So first off, I just want to say my heart and prayers go out to the families of the victims and to the families and the people that lost everything there. It's a very sad situation and very hard indeed. And I cannot imagine. So my sincerest condolences and compassion go out to those that have went through such a thing. So I'm going to just explain a little bit about how I work and whatnot. So all the ways to reach me and support me are down below. I have caught up on my products, so I am opening that back up if anybody wants to. I also have things I've already made that can be shipped off right away. I do have merchandise that's down below. My old podcast, my book from Amazon is down below. And also the video about interconnects and Autowrites. If you're going to be a part of this channel, it's important that you kind of learn how I work, I feel, because I think a lot of people get it and then a lot of people don't. And I'm always educational. And since I'm not like a lot of other people and a lot of other people aren't like me, everybody works differently, I feel like it's important to understand how someone works, but also learn about spirit, the other side, how this works in general. So that's why I kind of make educational videos like that. So I'm going to try to channel off, I guess, the picture of the fire, and then maybe some victims. I was having Lizzie kind of look up some victims. I'll see if I can tap into someone and see if they can tell me anything. Like I said, there's a lot of victims here, so it might kind of be all over the place. I might get information on a bunch of different victims. I'm not going to know where it goes. If anybody understands how this works, I literally hear in the form of thoughts. So I cannot differentiate who is who. I always tell people it fits how it fits. So information that comes in can be past, present, or future. It can be symbolic or have multiple meanings. Spirit will often use my references, experiences, how I relate to things to try to explain what they're wanting to say. So when it comes to symbolism, things that come in can either be literal or not literal. It's just the way that Spirit's trying to describe it to me, because I am just trying to transcribe or understand or I don't know what the word is, translate what they're giving me in visions and feelings and things like that, and translate it to you guys. So I'm just going to tell you what I see. I'm going to try not to perceive it wrong. We can perceive it, things are a matter of perception. So sometimes I do misperceive things wrong. So I'm working on trying to just tell you what I get, and then we'll see how it fits when things usually come out. So as I get information, whatever Lizzie knows, I've tried to stay away from all of this stuff. I've only seen a few things on it. But Lizzie's here tonight. So I always ask that you guys be kind to Spirit, be kind to people in the comments, be kind to each other, and be kind to my sitters as they are taking time out of their life and using their energy to help me connect, and it makes the reading better for you guys, because what a sitter does is there's someone to bounce off of energetically. So as I get information, she's going to validate what she knows, and what she doesn't know, she's just going to say yes. This is just like, it helps me just having someone to bounce off of. So she doesn't need to know everything, obviously, like in every case, everything. Like our sitters aren't going to know everything, because that's impossible. There's stuff that I'll get that isn't released yet and whatnot. Facts will come through as a form of validation. Keep in mind that this is for entertainment purposes only. This is all alleged, only my opinion. It is in no way factual information. It is just psychic medium impression. Viewer discretion is advised, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty if there is anybody involved in this. And let's see what Spirit has to say, if anything. If not, then you guys won't see this. All right. So there's our Lizzie.
Good morning, everybody.
I don't know how this is going to go.
Well, let's see what you got.
So I'm going to try to pick up on, I'm just going to look at a bunch of victims right now. Like I said, I don't know who's going to come through. I was already looking at the fire, and I feel like short of breath, which I know makes sense. Obviously, if you're running for your life, you're going to be short of breath. Like I said, there's going to be things that come through that are obvious, but I'm just going to tell you what I feel and get, and that's it. What's weird is every time like I try to tap into this and try to see something, I keep seeing it starting like on a mountain or a hill. Now, I don't know if that was like, if they figured out where it started, but every time I try to tap into this, it's more like a foresty area, but it feels like it's higher up, like on a hill. I keep getting that.
Okay. There were already wildfires starting, but they think the fire started, like this area was, their thinking is related to a power line, but they're not 100% sure. But there were already wildfires burning on August 8th, so that makes sense for you to say that.
But I don't know if what I'm saying is, I don't know if this fire that went out of control,
okay,
like happened like in an area like I'm describing.
Okay, that I am not.
And what I keep hearing is on purpose. Now, there is one thing that Spirit wants to say about the vegetation being the way that it was. I think it was drier than normal. I think it was one of those things where there was a lot of things to start a fire. And as you guys know how I feel about things, like I always try to make sure like it's not my mind running away and it's not some conspiracy that I've made up, because I know a lot of people like just think everything's a conspiracy, and I don't. I do believe in conspiracies, but I just want to see. So the weird, I don't know, the odd thing that I'm being shown, and I don't know if it's literal or not.
Okay.
Like it might just be symbolic, but there's a reference to people that have like tiki torches that are like putting it on the ground, like to light a fire. You know how you have those I don't know if they're tiki torches or what they're called, but you know how like it reminds me of like stuff from the island, like whenever they have like the poles and they have the little things on them and they light them like people do. Like they have them outside the restaurants and stuff, from what I've seen from like movies and videos, you know, that they light up the area. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they are tiki torches, right?
Well, they have like the fire on them. I keep seeing like someone with like, there's reference to two people, and it's so odd what they show me. Okay, please, I'm not a tinfoil hat person, but there's a reference to someone like in a Jeep or off-roading vehicle. I keep getting like a silver Jeep and I can hear it. So this is some sort of off-roading vehicle that I'm getting. And there's a reference to it driving. This is why I'm curious about where the origin of the fire is. Or I might just be getting the origin of one fire or the most important fire. But I keep seeing it go down trails.
Okay.
But leading into like a forest. It's so odd. And then there's two people that get out. I can't see them very well. Like I said, the images are through like a dirty glass and sometimes even blurrier. And sometimes I can't see the perpetrator for whatever reason that may be, whether it be for my own protection or whatnot. But there's a reference to like them getting out of this Jeep. They show me like a gas can, like a red gas can, and a reference to a rag. I don't know what the rag is for, but it's like I see them light these torches.
Okay.
And then they set it like they light the ground.
Okay.
And then they drive out of there. And it's very odd because I don't like whenever I see stuff like this, I always worry like it's my mind running off with me, but it's very clear in how it's coming in. And when I look past the forest, it's like I see like a higher mountain or a volcano. So I don't know if they have those on that specific island, but it's like in the distance. Like I can see it like far in the distance. It might not even be that island. It might be like you could just see it from wherever they lit the fires at. If you were to go up and over the trees, that's what I see, like a very tall mountain.
Okay.
Because whenever this first happened, we were talking about my Autowrite 9 and how I've seen people run from the island, and I had thought everything was like, I thought it was a volcano because it was all like lava looking, but now we're starting to wonder if I mistook the lava for fire because it was an island and people were running for their lives. Like that's how it came across in Autowrite 9. But I do hear the words down power line. I know that you said that, but I do hear that. So that might have been an origin. But because I feel like at least there's a reference to maybe three separate fires. But I feel this one was the one that got out of control because I feel like it was set in multiple places.
Okay.
Like multiple places in this forest or whatever where people wouldn't see them.
Okay.
And I don't know how dry it is there right now or if it's wet or even if this makes sense.
Okay. Well, when I just looked, because I didn't know that I didn't even know that there were wildfires burning before this. It says it was on Olinda Road, but it was like 700 acres. So it says Olinda Road area of Kula. So when I looked it up, it does look like the vegetation is like, I guess, forestry. I want to say that I know they're on an island, but it does look like it's just like or was acres, and it says it burned through about 700 acres. So it makes like that area makes sense to what you're getting. So
yeah, because it's very forestry, but then I also get like a little mount, like I don't know if they're little hills, not like huge hills, but like it's a little bit of uphill feeling for what I'm going. But there's reference to like a silver Jeep, so I don't know where that silver Jeep, but it's like an off-roading vehicle.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time catching my breath, honestly.
I wonder, how you said short of breath, the smoke will do that too if people have issues, breathing issues.
So I feel like it was I hear the word planned, and they might have used the cover from the other fires. Because it's almost like it had to look natural, and maybe a couple of them were, but I feel like it really got out of hand when they did whatever I'm seeing being done.
Okay.
I feel like a crazy person right now. Again, like whenever I see crazy stuff in my readings, I feel like a crazy person.
No,
like I'm making it up. So there's also money, something about money that's coming in. But they flash me like money. So I don't know if the government gets money if something like this were to happen, or if there was any part that was insured, or if there's some kind of money behind this or behind the people involved. Do you know anything about like a change in power or a change of like something being sold, like land being sold or anything like that around there? Because they showed me the sold sign, like somebody had something just had been sold.
I am not sure, but I could look it up and see if
okay. Also, I don't know why this is coming in at all. But there's a reference to like coca. Like I don't even know if that's on the island or if it's just like it's the white stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So I don't know if like it burned through something like that, or it's people that are connected to that. I don't really know. There's just a mention of that for some odd reason, like one of those farms.
Okay.
I don't even know if they have that on Maui. I know that there's a lot of things that are and that might even not even pertain to this because I do get interconnects and Autowrites, but I know that there are like gang activity stuff, like mafia type stuff on Hawaii. I don't know so much about Maui, but I know Hawaii just from my own experiences doing reading out there, or for a specific someone, that it's like all underground stuff. I don't know if they wanted it to be this much of a my head hurts really bad all of a sudden. I don't know if they wanted it to be this much of a like tragedy.
Okay.
I don't know if they really wanted it to get this far out of hand.
Okay.
But I also feel like roadblocks. Like there was things done that were put in a roadblock manner to where if the roadblocks weren't there, the fires could have been out sooner. I don't know if that makes sense. And there's a reference to, I don't even know if Maui has a helicopter, because out here, like I know in the States we have a helicopter and we drop the stuff on the fire and it puts it out, or we drop water. There's a reference to, I don't know if they didn't have a helicopter or if there was roadblocks with getting a helicopter, where if it would have been used sooner, or if they would have allowed people to be more proactive, which I feel like they were stopped from maybe even protecting themselves or protecting their properties. Like it comes across like that. Like there was roadblocks put in the way, and then there was something about the roadblocks being put also on the people that live there.
Okay, I did read something that I don't know about the helicopter there, but I did read something. They interviewed a resident there, and they said that the water was shut off.
There feels like roadblocks, but it's like it comes across as the government's controlled by another entity out there. That's how it comes across. Like I don't really know how all their politics and stuff work, but it's almost like there's a level above them that's like, I don't know how to explain it. But I just keep getting the reference to like roadblocks. Like there wasn't things, I don't know if maybe they didn't have like I said, the helicopters. If they would have had a couple helicopters, maybe it wouldn't have got so far out of control. Or if there was things that could have been done sooner that were blocked. You know what I mean? Like maybe resources and things like that.
Okay.
Because I feel like once it got past a certain point, there was no stopping it. Because I feel like, honestly, the way that it comes across is I feel like a fire was started by these people in multiple places.
Okay.
So it wasn't just like there was already maybe a couple fires burning, but they weren't out of control. They didn't really get out of control until this. But also I get a reference to like wind being a factor to make it worse. So it was like a perfect storm, basically. So it's coming across that there was, I'm having a hard time breathing, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide kind of thing. And I do feel like people refuse to leave. There's a reference to people wanting to stay with, they didn't see where they were going to go. It was like, I'm just going to stay here because where am I going to go? I don't know if they had a fear of water, like they weren't going to run out into the water, or they had pets, or they couldn't get their elderly people out. It comes across as there was people that decided to stay behind. And there's also a reference to a hero.
So sad.
Someone that was a hero, or actually a lot of heroes. I see a reference to heroes as in there's someone that carried a woman. I see him carrying a woman all the way basically to the beach or to water, making sure she got there. There's a reference to, and I'm getting chills with that, there's a reference to a man and a dog. And I don't even think it's his dog the way that it comes across, but I hear neighbor with that. So I don't know if this was a neighbor that was very like kind and compassionate. There's someone that's coming in that's very kind and compassionate, and I feel like he was always giving to others. He was always doing for others, and when it came to this, he jumped in. I don't know if he just has a hero mentality, but I also feel there's a reference to these island people sticking together and helping one another. It wasn't like, you see some places it's all everybody for themselves. It wasn't like that here. That's not the feeling I'm getting. It's a feeling of, I hear Ohana, which we all know what that means, but I hear it. I wanted to say family, and then I heard Ohana. I know that from Lilo and Stitch. So they'll use that, but it's a feeling of that. And I feel like a lot of elderly people were left behind because for one, they're set in their ways. They weren't going to leave their home. And for two, they just didn't think they'd make the journey. It's like, once we get to the water, what are we going to do? We're elderly. We're not going to make it. So a lot of them, and I'm getting chills with that, sacrificed their lives because they had no choice. But I'm being reminded that sometimes this happens for a bigger purpose than we even know. Like, I always like to send people to the life tragedy by design, because it talks about something similar happening. I think it was like a wave or floods or something like that, where thousands of people lost their lives, but it had something to do with the world coming together and it being something of the light, stuff like that. So people do, as hard as it is and as sad as it is to understand, there is something that always is around things like this. I don't know how else to explain that. I'm just trying to get people to understand, because they understand on the other side why it happened and all of that. And I think a lot of the elderly people, they didn't see the point. They didn't see the point in leaving. Where were they going to go is what they're saying. So they just decided to stay behind. I see lots of them clinching. They might have clinched things that they loved or pictures, things like that, things that were important to them. Because they literally show me people in houses and the fire coming, and they're just sitting there with loved ones or their things, and they don't see that they can go anywhere. And then we have the other ones, that tried to get out. Some of it was just too late. There was no running anywhere, because there's a reference to, they show me like a house, and then it's just like the fire just like went all around them at one point. There was no getting out. There was no going anywhere. But also too, with like the whole water thing, there's something about what is that word I want to use? It's like right there. I'm trying to think of it, but I keep seeing like a cracked pipe, or there was something that sabotage. Sabotage is the word I'm trying to think of. Sabotage.
Okay.
Thank you. So they give me the number 124. I believe there's only 115 victims found, but when I'm trying to, there might even be more than that, but the number that they're giving me is 124.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know. Maybe that'll just be the people that are found. That doesn't mean that there's not any that are going to be able to be found, because fire is all devastating. I also, there's a reference, I can't breathe, and I think part of it too is, did people drown as well? Because there's a reference to, I see people in the waves, they're really big, like they can't, like there's an undertow, they can't swim, and I don't know, I think a hurricane hit around this time or something. There's something with the weather, but I keep seeing big waves that I feel maybe had taken some people under and they couldn't swim. And unfortunately, I hear our island's children. So I think unfortunately they lost more children than what they would have. They should, I don't know if this is like something that they always do, but this is how I relate to it. So I get a reference to when they put flowers in the water or they lay lays in the water, there might be some sort of ceremony at some point in time where they lay, because I see them being put in the ocean or in the water, lays, like taking the lays off, putting them in the water, as they have people's pictures. Like it looks like it might be some kind of ceremony or something at some point in time, because the way that it comes across, like island people are very family driven people, and they're very honorable in that way. So I feel like whoever's left on the island, there'll be something like that, or it may just be symbolic, but they keep showing me laying lays in the water, like putting lays in the water. And there's also a reference to like bodies washing up on shore. So it'll happen a little at a time, but I feel like it's already started happening, where unfortunately, like people that we didn't know are gone are going to be washing up because this is the drowning, the ones that drowned.
Okay.
So I don't know, that I might just be getting the number for the island, maybe not even including the water. I don't know why they're giving me that number. It's kind of I'm not sure. So they say a lot of our culture and a lot of our history was eradicated. So I guess that certain things burnt down that were really important to them, unfortunately.
So sad.
Yeah. And what's sadder is I feel like money had a huge play in this. Like that's how it comes across. But I just don't think it was going to be anything like it ended up being.
Okay.
You know, like I maybe think it got out of control. I don't know if they really meant to cause that much, but I don't know, there's a reference to somebody like possibly taking their own life, but it's not going, or it's either taking their own life or they're going to be taken out because they know too much. Because it comes across as it's not what it looks like. So I don't know if it's a government official or someone connected to this island, to where something's going to happen to them and they're going to think it's like an accident or an unaliving, but it's not going to be. I don't know why I'm getting that. Really weird. I also see like papers being signed, documents being signed and handed over to someone. I don't know what that means either. but I hear the words like "we will rebuild." So they're a strong community. It's going to take some time, but I feel like they will rebuild. And because for a lot of people, that's their home. They've known nowhere else and they don't want to be anywhere else. But I hear that, like, they're strong enough, like they will rebuild. It's gonna take a while, and it'll happen slowly, but they're talking about that. There's also a reference to also not just people living there, but tourists. And there's a reference to a hotel. So I don't know if there was tourists staying in a hotel and the hotel burned or something like that, but I get like one of the tall resort like hotels or resort like that. I keep getting that. And possibly tourists from that or something happened.
There was the first U.S. tourist was declared deceased. She was from California, and I think the last place she was seen was the area of where her hotel was.
Okay, because I'm getting that like hotel and then like a resort. Like it reminds me of like a resort hotel. They could just be showing it to me because that's how I think about like the taller, nicer hotels. I don't know if there was anybody there that was there on business, but I hear the word business. Like I keep getting reference to like a couple business people or something that were there for, I don't know. I just keep getting that repeated image of like these two people just like starting fires in different areas of like a forest. It's so weird.
Okay.
It's like, and it wasn't just in one spot. It's like they drive a little bit, start some more, like to where it just literally there was so many points of origin is the way that it comes across.
Okay.
I don't know why they show me a triangle. I always take triangle as the big eye, but I don't know if that's a symbol for it. I don't know. Now we're getting into the real conspiracy stuff. But they do keep referencing like the government. So I feel like the timing's odd. Like something was going on either in their government on their island. That the timing of this is very suspicious. And I think it's very suspicious to a lot of the islanders, and the things that were done as well was very suspicious.
Okay.
They're speaking in Hawaiian to me, and I don't know what they're saying. I can't even repeat it because I don't know how to say it. I keep seeing a reference to, I mean, they keep showing me this little girl. She's around 5 or so. She's got longer hair. It seems like it's curly, like especially in the front. I keep seeing her. I don't know who she is. She has kind of an exotic name. But I'm wondering if she's with parents or family because I see her holding mom and dad's hand. So I don't really know like who they are. The thing is I don't know if this is ever gonna come out. Like most things that happen in the dark, sometimes they come to light, sometimes they don't. I don't know if the full effect of what happened here is going to come out. Like there might be people say things and stuff like that, but I don't know if there's like proof, but there may be. Like we may get bits and pieces of the story, but I don't know if we'll get all the story. That's what I'm saying, I guess.
Okay.
Like the proof. I don't know. But they do say the word greed to me. So there was greed. There was greed surrounding in this in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know what. There's a reference to 7 hours, but I see somebody in the ocean. So I don't know if they're saying they were in the ocean for 7 hours or exactly what that is. I know it happened on the 7th, like we talked about. But or it could be more than 7 hours, but at least 7 hours I'm getting. And there's someone just like there in the ocean. Like I see him.
There was a lady that was in the ocean. I don't know if it was 6 or 7 hours, but I think she was in there for quite some time with others, not just herself, you know.
Yeah.
When they were trying to escape. But I remember reading they did an interview, I think with her or maybe a gentleman, and they were saying that they were in the water.
They're reminding me of that song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. There's actually a Hawaiian guy that sings it. I don't know if you ever heard it. It's really beautiful, but they're reminding me of that song right now. If people want to take a listen for some reason, that's coming in.
Rachelle, it was 7 hours.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just looked it up.
Well, what do you know?
It says one woman's harrowing escape, 7 hours in water, clinging to a wall.
That's good validation. I did not know how long that was.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I remember seeing something brief on it, but I didn't know the hours. But there's validation.
Do you know if people like left on boats or like anything like that? Because I keep seeing boats, but I don't know if like it's saying like they left on boats or they were on boats in the water at the time. On
August 9th, people flee Hawaii on boat to escape wildfire smoke.
Okay. So I was getting the reference to a boat. And also I was getting a reference to like, I don't know if there was actually people like tourists that were on an airplane when this started. Because I keep seeing it like I'm on an airplane and I'm looking down and this fire is starting and they're in the air. Like they were basically saved because they were in the air. It's very I don't know what they're trying to show me, but they're showing me from like I'm in an airplane and I'm looking down on what it looks like, which it does look like in my vision where I thought it was lava because it's just all fire. I mean, fire and lava look the same. So It does look like that, like just all over an island from the vantage point that they're giving me. Really having a hard time breathing in this reading. I feel like the message that they want to give is that they're okay, they're safe, that all of the terror and everything that they felt was wiped once they passed. And they're saying there's a bigger purpose. So whatever the bigger purpose is behind that, only Spirit knows. Sometimes it's just to bring people together and bring more light because the world needs it, which I feel like that's one thing that the world should do is right now it comes across as us as a whole, we need to be lighting candles and sending prayers, or even just saying prayers for not just Maui, but the whole world, because the world needs light. It's a battle between good and evil right now, and we need the good to win. So prayers are very important. I think people have lost their belief, lost their faith, and aren't praying like they used to, aren't sending the light like they used to. And that would make a real difference in the way that the world is right now. The thing is that people are not learning their lessons, unfortunately. And we do have they show me light, like they show me like light and dark, and there's a battle of good and evil going on right now. That's what they show it to me as. Also, you could look at it as a yin yang sign. But because they show me that too, they flash the yin yang sign at me, but it's like, here's the dark, here's the light, and they're clashing. So whatever reason they're wanting to show me that, and in a way they show me like angels battling demons, like as in a symbolism way. But I don't think that people understand that people's thoughts they create, people's good vibes that they put out, it can really make a difference, especially as a whole. People don't understand how strong their minds are to make change, because we can, I mean, if I can hear people's thoughts, that just says how strong, if they can overtake a reading, that just says how strong people's thoughts are, and they can be. So our thoughts do create, and that comes in any way. But, you know, a big thing too that Spirit's wanting to say is, you know, doing good in the world, or doing little things for people, whether it be handing $5 to someone on the street, giving dog water or food, helping out a neighbor carry something into the house, like anything like that that you can do will help bring light into the world. They want to remind people that, you know, I think there's still good in the world, and I see it all the time, but I think sometimes people forget, and we get in that selfish manner, and we forget to do for others. And that's just a message that's coming in, is that we need to continue to try to help others and do for others, and it'll come back tenfold. But that's not why we do it. But it does help the karmic cycle keep going. It does help the light keep flowing. When we do a good deed, it does spread light. So that's just a message, and I'm sure more of that will come in on the channel that I want to do. I'm having a hard time breathing on this reading.
Little acts of kindness.
Yeah, little acts of kindness, exactly. Spirit just wants to remind people to do that. Trying to see what else I can get, because I don't even remember what I've gotten, honestly, so far, except for that one image keeps repeating. But I think they want people to know, and their family knows that they're okay. Because I think a lot of people think, because it was tragic, I don't know what their belief system are on the island as far as where do spirits go when things like this happen. I don't really know what their beliefs are, but it comes across as they just need them to know that they're okay. Yes, the other side was really flooded at that point. Like, they show me, because sometimes they'll show, like, whenever I connect to spirit, I will see them on the other side in light. Like, they step forward in light to communicate with me, and then they step back. Sometimes they show themselves in a field of flowers at some point in the reading, but a lot of times they're just standing in light.
Okay.
The way that they show me. So this is what they show me, is they show me a bunch of them standing in light with angels, loved ones, all of that, and they're like outside the gates of heaven. So they were just showing me what it was like when they reached the other side.
Okay.
And we're going into heaven. And they're it seems like, you know, they're all there. Can't tap into every spirit, but from what they're showing me, it's a big group of people. And so they were all met and told to not be afraid. They were explained things, and then they all went through the life review like we all do. They've all gone through the healing and all of that. So for some reason, they're wanting to talk about that and say that, you know, like, we made it to heaven. This is what it was like. And what's interesting, they're like showing me all these spiritual images. So another thing too is what they're showing me, and this is again probably symbolic. I don't know, like maybe not. But it's like the bodies are there, and then you see angels grabbing the souls and taking them up. Now, heaven isn't really up there. It's just a different dimension. It's the same place as us, it's just a different vibration. But then the image that they're showing me is the angels are grabbing the spirits by their hands, taking them out of their bodies and taking them up. It's interesting. I've never had that happen before in any of my readings. Them showing me that. So
yeah, that is interesting.
yeah. They've never showed me that with the other side too, with a bunch of people standing out. They've never showed me that. And then they show me Jesus like standing in front of them now because they're showing me him. Maybe this is a reason why I'm being pulled to channel him at some point. Like there's a bigger message that I'm supposed to give, but for some reason in this reading, they're wanting these visuals out there.
Okay.
Whether it's to make people not afraid, to make people understand that they're okay, to make people know that even though there's tragedy, the spirit remains. And I'd be curious if, I don't know, like, did this fire just like start like spreading down? Because I keep getting reference to like down a hill or down a slope, and it's just taking out houses along the way. But I feel like it's up higher and it's coming down. So I don't really know how that makes sense. I know that there's higher places in a lot of the islands, and it doesn't have to be really high, but I just feel like it's like more of a slope level, and that maybe there was like houses or whatever that were there that it kind of took out first, because I kind of am seeing the similar vision that I saw before where I thought it was lava, but it wasn't. I guess it was fire. Because it's the same vision, like it spreads like lava is basically maybe what Spirit was trying to say. I don't know. There's also like an older man, and he puts on his like silver rimmed glasses. I don't know. I just see him like that. I don't know the point. And as I'm kind of stuck in this situation, or they take me and put me in the middle of all of this in the past, there's lots of screaming and people yelling and a lot of panic, things like that. I also hear the word altar, so I don't know what that means. If there was an altar, will be an altar. Not really sure, like an altar of like pictures and things like that. It could be that at some point there's gonna I keep getting like a reference to like on the beach, this will be. But I know Tammy already told me about the church, so that kind of sucks because that's coming in. That they're showing me that the church was protected.
Oh, okay, yep.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people have gone there since then to feel solace. But she already told me that, but still, I see it, so I'm just gonna say it. It's like a ring of fire around it is what they show me, and a cross. I hear the words like we all have our time and place, and it comes across as like that's why some survived and some didn't. Unfortunately, we all have our own destiny is what they're saying, which I don't know how again the Hawaiians view that kind of stuff, but it's coming across like they understand that it was part of their destiny, like they understand that. So I don't know if that's a part of their belief,
Okay.
So they're giving me the number 8. I already know it happened in August. I don't know if there's another reason for that. They're also they're taking me to next year, like this time next year. So I feel like there's a reference to like aid from other states, the Red Cross, other nonprofits stepping in, and the U.S. stepping in. And there's a reference to between now and next year, at least half of it will be built up, if not more. But I also get a reference to like churches and things like that, like sending, you know how people like get sent to different areas from like the churches, or like the Peace Corps, things like that. Like that comes in as well to help rebuild. So this is just kind of what they're talking about as far as the world sending light there by helping it. Like it's showing that how humanity can be, and how everybody's banding together, kind of how people did in 9/11, how everybody banded together. It's a similar thing, and I'm getting chills with that, but it's a similar thing, like people banding together for this.
Okay.
Because it has affected the whole world, and things like this usually do. And us as empaths, that might be why I feel like the weight's on my shoulder a lot of the time, because I think a lot of empaths, we felt like something was gonna, I know that I did for a few days before this, like I've been feeling like something weird was gonna happen. All going, and I kept going back to that fireball image that I kept getting. I kept thinking like it was gonna start raining fire and brimstone, because that's what it looks like, you know.
Yeah.
Because they also show me it like jumping roads or something like that. So I don't know if it jumped a main road or it jumped a road. It's sad because, I mean, I know this is obvious, but what they show me is they show me like all these beautiful forests and vegetations, and now they just show me it's just gone. It looks like the apocalypse. I know that's obvious, but that's what they show me. I don't know if like Hawaiians have a song for this type of thing, but there is a reference to a certain song that is like sung like in their native language that I cannot sing because I can't get the words. But the other song I also hear is that one. I don't know if Elvis sang it. Elvis loved Hawaii, I think. I don't know why they're bringing in Elvis. I think, didn't he have like movies in Hawaii or something? But
I think so.
Yeah, but that song, like Melikaliki Waka, like that song, I'm probably saying that completely wrong. I don't know what it means. It's a different song than the one I was just talking about, but I keep hearing that song.
Melikaliki Lai, something like that it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, and I don't know why they're bringing it in.
I'm gonna look it up right now because
maybe it's because I relate to it. But there is a different song that is for like, I don't know, their loved ones or love or some. There's some kind of different beautiful song that they have. I also see
that means Merry Christmas.
Well, I don't know. Maybe something will happen around Christmas. It's maybe just because I know it.
Okay, that could be, yeah.
And they're referencing to Elvis. So I don't know if he sang that, but I don't know where I heard it at or where it comes from. But I know that there's a separate song, okay, that they're talking about. Not that one. There's a separate song that has to do with like, I don't know if someone's going to write it or if they have one that they sing to their loved ones, but there's something about that. And I also see hula dancers. So I don't know if there was any hula dancers that were lost in this, but there's also like a tribute. Like whenever they do the tribute, there'll be hula dancers and there's a specific song. And again, for some reason, I also keep going back to Somewhere Over the Rainbow by the guy that sings it. That's from Hawaii. I don't know exactly where in Hawaii he's from. So, but they're showing me like Elvis movies. I don't know, was any Elvis movies even like filmed in Maui or were they just filmed in Hawaii?
I looked it up. It says here he recorded Hawaiian Wedding Song on March 22nd, 1961. And it says Elvis Presley sang another version of the song in the 1961 film Blue Hawaii, but he also did in January of 1973, he had a concert there.
Was it in Hawaii or Maui?
It says Hawaii.
Okay. So I don't know why that's coming in. I don't know if he ever filmed any of it in Maui, if it's just the Hawaii Islands. Like, there's just a reference to freaking Elvis singing. I think Elvis had a connection to Hawaii anyways. I think some of his movies were in Hawaii, if I remember right. I don't know. I wasn't born in the 60s.
He traveled to the island frequently to film movies, record music, vacation with his family until the late 70s.
Okay. So he really did have a connection to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably why they're talking about him then. And like they got to meet him too. There's another thing because I just keep seeing him in a white suit with a lei around him and he's like singing to everybody. I don't. The lei around his neck. He's like singing to everybody. So I don't know. Maybe some of these people were like alive in the 60s and like they seen him or something, or they had a thing with Elvis. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It could just be a connection to Hawaii, but I think it's interesting they're bringing him up for some odd reason.
That is interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. They keep showing me like either a government entity or something that is like a government entity. Like they keep showing me that, and I don't really know what that means.
I was actually going to wait until you were done. I did find something, but being that you're bringing it up, you know how you said you saw like the signing of documentation. I don't know if you remember saying that or not, but you said you saw like government signing documentation and stuff. They are concerned that developers are going to try to purchase land, cheaply. So the governor said the state government is considering acquiring land that's devastated by the wildfires to try to, keep it so developers aren't coming in and buying land cheaply. So maybe that's like.
Yeah, that's why like the sold thing came in the documents probably. Yeah. Like I feel like there's something about Biden making it protected, I think.
Okay.
Like there's going to be certain parts of it that'll be protected that people won't be able to touch. Cuz I see our president signing papers in regards to that.
Okay.
Or in regards to like protecting that island in some way, shape, or form, like either the forest or something like that.
Okay.
I know my heart also like broke with the animals out there. I posted a donation link on the community page because I donated a little bit for them they're trying to fly them out of there.
Yeah, I saw you shared that.
Some of them don't have it, so if you guys are interested, it's on the community page.
Yeah, I did also. I sent a little.
Yeah, and I donate to that place all the time, so I know it's legit. Whatever I can.
So sad.
I try to pay it forward, but I keep questioning this. I keep questioning this Jeep thing, like the two guys in the Jeep. I keep questioning that. Well, I keep seeing it. It's repeating. So I know that it's important, but every time I try to go change it to make sure it's not my mind, it won't change. So somehow I feel like, and they might be connected to maybe not like, it might not be the exact government. It might be like an entity that like controls things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you know how sometimes they have like separate, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. because it doesn't seem like it connects directly to the governor for some reason. It feels like it's an outside source, but I keep getting like a soul thing and money thing around it. Like,
okay.
That's what keeps coming in for some reason. But I feel like there was also, like I said, like a lot of heroes in this. The heroes keep coming up, and that's because they selflessly gave their life for others. That is wanting to like I get the Purple Heart. So I don't know if maybe one of them was a veteran and had a Purple Heart. That is very possible. But also it could be that they're referencing that because I understand what that means in a military sense. Like you would give a Purple Heart for someone that was sacrificing their life to save others. That comes in too. So it might have a multiple meaning on that. Like there might have been veterans involved that actually did have a Purple Heart, but there might also be like some awards that might come in like that. You know, like people that are remembered for being heroes. Because there's something about veterans too that's coming in, so it's like it might have more than one meaning on that.
Okay.
Do you know if like they had an alarm system there and maybe it wasn't working, or because I hear like alarms going off? Like I don't know if they're saying there should have been an alarm system or the alarm system wasn't working and they have one. You know how like here we have like an emergency response system, like something like that, but it feels like alarms like loud, like how you would hear for tornadoes or something of that nature kind of thing. So
I
I'd be
think they
curious.
do have an alarm system there.
Because I don't know if I hear them going off, so I don't know if they actually went off or there was an issue with them. I'm not really sure, but I just hear them going off. Like I feel like I'm like,
okay.
I can't make the noise, but it's in my head and it won't go away. I guess it reminds me of like a tornado siren.
I think they do have them, but I just searched to see, and it says Hawaii's robust emergency siren warning system sat silent during deadly wildfires.
So it didn't go off. So that might be what they're trying to say. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it went off, if they have one. So
it says here there really wasn't an evacuation notice. One of the, I guess, residents says he said that the real warning came from a huge bloom of black smoke in the sky.
Yeah. So then that's what they're saying. And there wasn't any warning, but they have the sirens. They're making me hear them, but there wasn't a warning with it. That's what they're how I took it anyways. That's how I perceived it. Is that it didn't go off or there wasn't a warning. Like there's road. That's another roadblock.
Here. The state's integrated outdoor siren warning system, the largest in the world with about 400 alarms, was not activated during the fires.
Yeah. So it's like that's another thing that's like, it's almost like it snuck up on everybody. Like that's why they're mentioning the alarms. Like they didn't go off, and they didn't go off because someone made sure they didn't go off. That's how it comes across.
Okay.
Because I think normally they would have hurricane or whatever, something like that, you know. If you had like a category hurricane coming in, I think the alarms would go off unless they weren't set for fires. But I don't know if they are manually set or not. But I had a feeling there was something with the alarms because I could hear them, but it was almost like they weren't tripped or something. I'm gonna have to wrap this up. My mom's gonna kill me. My head is like pounding too, like really bad all of a sudden. I don't know. There's a T and an R that's coming in. I don't know how they fit either. So it's weird. They show me like some of the like elderly people. I don't know if they had pills or something like that they were taking for medication wise, like just for ailments and stuff. But I see some people like taking pills or something so that when the fire came, they were gone or asleep. Like that comes in, which I know we'll never be able to validate that, but like it was either they didn't want to like be awake through it, kind of thing. Because they didn't feel like there was any way out at that point, and they weren't going to run. So I don't know. It comes across as like the elderly ones, like the ones that couldn't move around a lot and stuff. Like the ones that can move around a lot, I don't know. They're not really going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Specifically, like I get like a really elderly lady, like in her 80s or something. I don't know if I'm getting that right. I don't know why they're showing me this. I wonder if there's going to be like a huge wave or huge waves. It reminds me of like a hurricane, which I know they like had one, but I wonder if there's going to be a bigger one because it's almost like I see that there might be huge waves at some point, like maybe related to a hurricane that are gonna. I see it like coming ashore and wiping some of these houses away. It's really, or like the debris and stuff from that. It's really odd. I don't know why I'm getting that. I don't know if it's symbolic or not, but it's almost like that. I don't know that there'll be any more casualties with that. I don't know how far it gets out. It's like a storm surge kind of thing is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Because I see it like get the stuff and like pull it back. It's so weird. I don't know if, like I said, it's symbolic or not, but it gets the stuff and it pulls it back out. It's really like, gets like stuff that's close to the beach. Like as far as a storm surge will go, I don't think it goes all the way in. Just so I don't know if they're saying like there's going to be a hurricane, which I hope not anytime soon. But
yeah,
whenever they show me the storm surge, it shows me like houses that are like devastated from the fire. That they don't show me that they're built. So this is going to be something that hits at some point. I hope not, but maybe it's a warning or maybe it's symbolic. I don't know. I get the name Harold. I don't know who that is. I think there was a hurricane that was called Harold recently. I don't think it's the same hurricane. I'm not saying that, but the name's coming in, so I want to say it before. And Jim. I want to say it so that, yeah. I want to say it because, I don't know if it fits here or not, but. Well, they're just blowing me kisses, and so I guess they're ready to end, and I am too because I need to go. But I don't know how much of a help this was or if it was anything at all. I don't do readings on things like this normally. It's hard because there's a lot of different energies to pick up on.
Yeah, a lot of life's lost. So sad. When you did get the number 8 too, I know you said like this happened in August, but I also just want to validate that. And I know I said it earlier in the beginning. There was a brush fire that already started to burn on 8/8. So maybe that's why you're getting 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
My hearts go out to the victims, their families, their loved ones, their friends. It's just, it's devastating.
Yeah. I said a prayer on my wall. I actually need to find it real quick. I'd like to say it.
Okay.
If I can find it.
Okay. No, I think that'd be good.
Yeah. I tried to do that like when I did with Quentin and stuff. And it definitely helped in that situation.
Yes.
5% chance and he was found. So I don't know if I can find it. Be patient. Second. I'm trying. I post a lot on my community page.
That's a good thing. So.
Yeah. If I could figure out where I got it at. Let's see, where's 8 days ago? I gotta be coming up on it. Here we go. Whoops. So, God, creator of healing and mercy, we come before you with our hearts filled with grief as we see the devastation. We pray that your presence would be felt by those who are grieving, who are injured, and who have lost their homes and livelihood. Oh, amen.
Amen.
So, thank you guys for liking, subscribing, sharing, and being here. We send our prayers and thoughts and love. See you guys next time.
Bye, everybody. Thoughts and prayers to Hawaii.